It's time to tell the truth about the so-called Wet'suwet'en Hereditary Chiefs in northern BC and this new Memorandum of Understanding they've just signed with the government. Earlier this week, the text of the secret agreement was finally leaked, and the blowback was almost instantaneous, with 4 out of 5 elected First Nation leaders in the region slamming it immediately and demanding the government minister responsible, Carolyn Bennett, resign, and not without good reason. These elected leaders were left completely out of the loop, with both the feds and province of BC, led by Minister Scott Fraser, inexplicably negotiating a complex issue like Aboriginal rights and title without their input or consent. Think about how crazy this is, sidelining the democratically elected representatives of a community chosen by First Nations people themselves in favor of an archaic system of hereditary chiefs based on bloodlines, nepotism, and, let's be honest, questionable dealings. These are the same hereditary chiefs who helped launch the unrest and nationwide blockades just a couple months ago, encouraging the obstruction of our roads, highways, bridges, and rail lines, all while being bankrolled by large US foundations committed to the destruction of Canada's energy economy. But instead of standing up and simply enforcing the rule of law, the government has now done the exact opposite, elevating the authority of this handful of hereditary chiefs, all while effectively throwing those that were elected and who had dealt with us in good faith completely under the bus. And what makes this even more concerning is the elected First Nation leaders we are now marginalizing are the very ones who stood up for their communities in the first place. They were the ones that supported development. They were the ones that supported good-paying jobs. They were the ones committed to ending not only the vicious cycle of poverty in their communities, but unemployment and taxpayer dependency as well. And even more importantly, they were the ones with democratic legitimacy. Look, there is no denying that many First Nations need and deserve our help, and that mistakes have been made in the past. But the solution now is not some form of Mickey Mouse monarchy or environmental theocracy. The solution now is what it's always been for First Nations and all Canadians: good-paying jobs, economic development, and accountable, responsible, democratic government. And to be totally honest, to suggest that First Nations are somehow incapable of electing their own leaders like everybody else is offensive. In fact, it's borderline racist. The truth is, over the past few years, the root of all these protests in northern BC had less to do with any particular pipeline and more to do with an indigenous power struggle shaped and exploited by various outside groups and actors. A struggle that pitted the elected indigenous leadership on one side and the unelected hereditary chiefs on the other. And our governments, both provincial and federal, have just chosen to support the wrong side.